Today is Thursday, March 29th, 2018. Good night to our viewers and PEP members. Welcome to Frontline. My name is Janice Mondecriki and I am the Public Relations Officer of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And my co-host, good night, Felicia.
Good night.
Felicia is our chairperson of the party. Tonight we're going to talk about violence against women in Trinidad and Tobago. Our guest tonight is going to be Ana Maria Mora. She is a counseling psychologist and former president of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Psychologists. Before I call Ana Maria, I would like to share with you an article in The Guardian dated November 27, 2017, wherein Trinidad and Tobago has announced the reduction in violence crime against women in 2017. According to the latest statistics released to the T&T Guardian by the Police Service, for the period January 1 to October 31st, there were 1,484 reports of violence against females under and over 18 years of age. In 2016, there was a total of 2,414. With respect to murders, in 2017, a total of 45 females were killed, up until October 31st, whilst in 2016, there was an overall total of 48. Violence against women and girls is one of the most systematic and widespread human rights violations. Within a general context, domestic violence is usually referred to as the emotional, psychological, physical, or sexual abuse perpetrated against a person by someone with whom he or she shares or has shared an intimate relationship. However, the Domestic Violence Act of Trinidad and Tobago, 1999, broadened the scope of the definition to include members of the household and the aspect of financial abuse. This is stated as under Section 3 and is as follows. Domestic violence includes physical, sexual, emotional, or psychological or financial abuse committed by a person against a spouse, child, any other person who is a member of the household or dependent. Women experience violence in many ways, from physical abuse to sexual assault, and from financial abuse to sexual harassment or trafficking. Whatever form it takes, violence against women can have serious long-term physical and emotional effects. I'm now going to call Ana Maria Mora, who is patiently waiting on our phone call. Let's see here. Right.
We encourage you to share the video, please, in the meantime, while we wait on Ana Maria.
Mora.
Hello. Hi.
Hi Ana, how are you?
I'm good. Okay.
Yes, just give me one moment. Hello? Hello?
Janet?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Good, I'm just trying to get you to come through this speaker. Just 1 second. Hold a second. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Right, there you are. Welcome to Frontline, Ana Maria.
Thank you. Thank you.
I really do appreciate you agreeing to be our guest tonight. And as I indicated, we want to talk about violence against women in Trinidad and Tobago. The first item that I would like to discuss with you is that in the last 2 months or so, we have seen some women being attacked or in some cases killed for their jewelry. Would you like to make a comment on that?
Killed for their
Jewelry.
jewelry.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I think I'm wondering in one instance, the person said that maybe he bought it for her and he wanted it back when the relationship ended. Was that it?
Yes, I believe so.
I think he felt that he should take back everything that he had given her. And you know, most of the time, these pieces of jewelry would be maybe gifts that were given in the relationship.
Okay.
And, well, you would normally think that someone will give someone something because they really do love them and don't want anything in return and wouldn't want it back if the relationship goes sour. You know, you would think that. So obviously there is some, for me, I think women are still seen as property to be owned by men, and anything that they give them, the woman must be beholden to them, and because, you know, they would have bought all these things for them.
Right.
As part of the ownership issue, and would want it back when the relationship ends.
Yes. I guess it's like, you know, the man wanting his engagement ring back if the relationship comes to an end. And generally, he tends to take it back.
Yes, generally.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes some women take it off the finger and sell it at them, you know, they don't act back. But
that's true.
that I think it is something, because if you, like, you have a friend or you're in a relationship with someone who you would want the best for that person.
Correct.
And you get things for them and things don't go as you had expected, you would, you know, give it to them because you love them.
Yes.
Or that you considered them good enough to share what your love through these material things, and that you wouldn't want it back. It's a selfish thing to want it back.
Yes, yes. Now, it's interesting that, you know, we tell women, now I'm just stepping away from that concept a little bit, but we have told women and men that when you're leaving your home to go to a function or to a party or whatever, try not to wear jewelry that is going to attract too much attention. But yet, you still see women wearing, you know, it may not necessarily be real gold, but they are wearing the gold jewelry, you know, and they're stepping out, and, you know, it's cause for concern.
I think it is, because I think we go through life in a little bubble thinking that these things will not happen to us. And we are immune to it. Each one of us thinks that until it hits home. I mean, I personally, I do not wear gold. I am a coconut and seed person. So, you know, that's not a problem for me.
Right.
But some people, I guess, like the flashing of these of the gold jewelry. Some of them, as they say, are not gold, but they look very much like gold.
Correct.
People could be fooled if they don't have a sense of what real gold looks like or feels like. So they get caught up in the people who have it on will become victims because it appears as if, and I don't know what it will take to have people understand that Trinidad and Tobago is not as it used to be, where we can trust that you know, we will be safe when we go out. And it has to be a seriously public education in the schools with the children, I know it, I was thinking about that the other day, that if we really have to make that whole issue about jewelry, expensive jewelry, and not wearing them, the jewelry shop might go out of business.
That too, yes, you're right.
and that is another issue.
Correct.
Because they buy a jewelry maybe to wear home and wear it to go to sleep, because you can't wear it outside.
Yes, unfortunately. So I'm going to let Felicia ask the next question.
Okay, hi Anna Maria. I don't know if you prefer Anna or is it Anna Maria?
Anyone you could believe it.
Okay, Anna is easier. Hi Anna.
Okay.
So we also have seen an increase in dating violence and abuse against women, and I just want to bring an experience that I had late last year where I attended I believe, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the organization, but they were holding a candlelight vigil for women and violence against women. And I remember one of the things that they discussed was that they felt as if they had failed. Oh my gosh, I wish I remember the name of this organization. I went with a friend to the vigil, and they felt as if they had failed because as much as they were an organization and they were here to support, the fact is, and the truth of the matter is that there has been an increase, and as much as you try to be a support system, inevitably there have been cases that we see violence still happening, whether it's rape or abuse. And dating in relationships and being abused in relationships is one, because you find women stay in these relationships because of love. And I wanted to get your perspective on violence against women as it pertains to in dating as well as marriages. And you know, what was your take on that, and as a psychologist, and cases that you may have seen across over the years?
Well, you talked about love, right? And I guess true love has that whole, well, the feeling of wanting the best for your companion or your, whoever you are in this relationship with, wanting the best. Wanting to see them develop, wanting to see, you know, both of you work together and develop yourself and your relationship. And this whole issue about jealousy, and you kind of speak this to everybody else. You might see a young man, if you're a woman, or a young man you might have been in class with at some point, and you say, hi, how are you? And he might blow you on the street. And then there is this big thing, questions about if you were with the person, what it is, why is he calling you? And these things show that that young man in that relationship or young woman is not, what would I say, he's not able to, he does not have your best interest at heart. He is only thinking about himself. And maybe that this person who he wants to possess seems not to think that he is the one and only person, and the young lady must only, or the young man must only be focusing anywhere they go on him or her, that he has to be her world. She has to be his world. And that is the only thing. And these are people who would not have grown up with some sense of God, that we live in a world, we share a world in which we need to, we tell people we must be our brother's keeper or sister's keeper. We must look out for each other. we must want the best for each other. And that is what love is, that you really love someone, that you would, and there's a saying, if you love the person, set it free. If he comes back to you, he was yours. If he wasn't, he was never yours. You know that saying, right?
Yes.
And I think we have to, you see that group that did that walk on violence against women, and it might be good to bring all those people, young men and young women, together and so let them work out with each other how they see each other. I do something with young people that talks about the difference between infatuation and love. There is a difference. And they talk about infatuation, focusing on the five senses.
Right.
If the person looks good to you, smells good to you, tastes good to you, sounds good, because all these things are fleeting.
Yes,
Look,
I agree.
you know, and how you dress, and we talk about the fact that all these perfume manufacturers have their perfumes so that the smell when you pass whoever, because sometimes we do that, somebody passes and they inhale and they say, wow, you know, and you feel wrong. But these things are fleeting, and relationships that are based on that don't last long. They don't last long.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you move on to somebody else who's smelling nicer and sounding nicer and looking nicer. Right? And these are some of the things that we have to work with young people about. And the fact that through a relationship does not begin so quick in a week or 2 weeks. It takes its time.
Correct.
And there's so much to learn about the other person. It's not just that he speaks well or he looks well and maybe whatever he does, walks well. He's all boxed up because he's in a gym and he looks good. Those things are fleeting. They don't last. And we have to help our young people to understand that.
Yes. One of the things that I think that needs, especially, I'm going back to dating violence a little bit. One of the things too, we need to also recognize the various cultures in terms of dating. In Trinidad, I find that we are rather sheltered here. But when we go abroad, especially to the States, there's a culture in dating that you need to understand. And a lot of the girls here are not familiar with what it means. And I will explain. I remember when I was in the States, a certain gentleman called and said, okay, I want to invite you for dinner. I said, all right, not a problem. I know the gentleman. It's not to say I don't know him. I said, well, look, I need to go into Manhattan. So when you pick me up and you take me across to Connecticut, then I can stay by you and catch the train into Manhattan. Sure, no problem. So he came and he picked me up and drove me to his home in Connecticut. We stopped to get a meal and so on. Then he indicated that, okay, you could go have a shower. I desperately need a shower. So I said, okay, I went to have a shower. And he automatically felt that after having my shower, I was going to get into bed with him. And I went, no, I didn't come here for that. We agreed that I will overnight in your home and then catch my train into Manhattan. And that man turned like a beast. Eventually, when he realized that I was not giving in, he said, okay, just go and you can use the couch in the living room. I said, no problem. He brought me a blanket and I slept there. But you know what? My brain didn't sleep for that night. because
No
I
idea.
was so traumatized by his response. I wasn't looking for him to go there. And it's not to say that he was an American, he was a Trinidadian stroke American, having lived in America for years. And then when I was giving this story to a friend of mine, he said, well, Jan, in America, once a lady, after a date, invites you up to her apartment for coffee, you know it's not just coffee alone you're getting.
It's understood.
It's understood. Right?
And guess, yeah. Now you have to make sure you have a kind of contract before you go to people.
That's correct.
And clear things, surely, because if was he a friend?
He was the family that I stayed with in New York, it was he was a part of that family. So he knew me, you know, and he knew that I was by myself in New York, and that, I mean, little Trinidad girl going to New York by herself, trusting, not understanding the culture for dating, you know, and I mean, if he was a really violent individual, I could have been raped that night and nobody would have known. And then to make it worse, he had this whole cabinet of guns and took great pride in showing off his guns. And I am thinking, oh my God, what happened?
You were going to end up with statistics.
Exactly. You know, so besides just having dating violence in Trinidad, I think we need to also educate our young girls and boys, teenagers, that when they have to go away to university, that this is what happens, so that they don't end up in a situation where they end up being raped by their date.
Yeah, but you see, the men have certain views of women, and I think that is the whole history thing that if you come out with me and we have dinner,
Yes.
they expect you to, I guess, repay them and be grateful to you.
Correct.
And respond in whatever they want, however they want you to respond.
Yes. Yes.
And that is something which has come down, I think, with history.
Yes.
And that whole thing about men can do women anything they feel like.
Correct.
Because they are like pawns in the other one, and they are just little property. I just spent some money on you and our dinner, we went out. So what are you doing for me? And this is what I want.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm not, I mean, this is the 21st century, the 21st century.
Yes.
And we have not moved into the whole issue about a woman has a brain. She is a professional.
Correct.
She can make her own choices. She doesn't have to be at the mercy of other people or other men, because she can speak up for herself. And I mean, as they said, you were lucky. He did get angry because he put his feet on the couch.
Yes.
Yes, that's for sure. But he didn't go any further. Thank God. And we have to help our young women to understand that they have to make some choices.
Yes.
That would be for their good. Now that is something that I don't think we are working with our young people. Now, we are basically animals.
Yes.
We are mammals. Because we suckle our young, we have hair, you know, we are basically animals.
Yes.
But we were created with the power to think for ourselves and the power to choose our good. That makes us higher than the animals. Because we were created with intelligence and will.
And I wanted to interject here because you mentioned that, you know, as women we have to educate ourselves, and I agree with Janice, you know, as young women here we need to know what situations we're putting ourselves in, whether it's here locally or if we're going to study abroad or visiting, and I understand all of that. Today I put up a status while we were advertising this very segment that we're having here. And I thought of all the ways that subconsciously I am afraid for myself as a woman. And I thought about it. From the time I leave my house, I have to make sure I make a beeline for my car. There's no stopping. You have to have your keys in your hand. You can't afford to be fumbling for your keys, especially if you leave. Sometimes I had to work Mayaro, and I would have to leave 5 in the morning. And you don't want to be fumbling for your keys if you're parked outside the gate. So that's one. You have to make sure you lock your doors when you get in the car. If you're driving in certain areas, you can't have your glass down because you don't know who can reach inside and lock your door, because this happened to somebody that I know. He reached in and locked her door and opened the door, and she knew enough, and in seconds she was out the car. You can't go certain places alone. You need to have a buddy. I have an app on my phone that alerts somebody if they don't hear from me. It sends them my location. These are the precautions that we as women have to take, and there are countless others. And I understand that we have to look after ourselves. Of course, you know, prevention is better than cure. But what about, how are we, and you as a psychologist, how are we also educating our men? Because they need to know boundaries. They need to know what you can and can't do. And I feel as if we're growing up in a society where men don't know their boundaries. That guy who snatched the woman's chain, that was what? He said he gave it to her, so he wanted it back. It's like they can't deal with rejection. Are we teaching our men how to deal with rejection? They can't deal with being horned. They say one thing a man can't take is a horn, and I never understood it because women get horned all the time. But horn a man, and you have to be afraid that he come and he chop you up, or he shoots you, or he stalks you. Yes. And I guess what I'm
and you know, this came down with my mother's time and her mother's time and one of them.
Exactly, it's been something that has been trailing generation after generation, and now we're looking at these statistics that Janice read earlier, and it's clearly not getting any better. So as a psychologist, you know, how much of your counseling goes into men, and I mean, I can only do so much, yeah, but I want to hear from you.
No, I work a lot with teenage boys to help them to make choices for their good, and the whole thing about having a purpose in life, what is their reason for being born, making sure that their grades, they have to do things so that their grades would be, and that they will not, that they will become a productive member of society and not be dependent on society. And I think once a young person, I've noticed, a young person has found his or her purpose in life, they work towards that purpose. I have young people who, and there are some of my cousin's children who became very, ensured that they became chartered accountants and did what they had to do. Once he became a vet, and then he decided, okay, now is the time. I have my house. I am fairly settled, and now I have the time to start a relationship. Now I have the time to give myself and to another beloved person. And they go towards, and of course they would find themselves in a circle of women with like minds. You understand?
Yeah.
And they would ensure, and that is one of our one of our theorists, talked about the fact that the best age to get married is in the 30s when you would have accomplished what your purpose in life is.
I have time then.
Yes, yeah.
I have time.
I totally agree with you. And it's something that I keep telling my son. I said, look, it's no point getting married in your 20s because that's a time, your body finally, releases itself from being a child. And you're busy trying to do your education. Plus, get your education, you want to get your first job, you want to get your car, you want to get your own apartment. I mean, it's not a problem having relationships, but 30 is the ideal time or age when you can say, well, okay, now I'm ready to settle down because I can look after a wife, I can look after children, and I don't have to be scrambling now to get a home, to put a roof over their head.
Beautiful. So
And
much
when you get married in your 20s, the statistics show that it is around 30 and a little above that divorces happen.
Ah.
Right? Because at 30, you are questioning all the choices that you made earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And you begin to restructure because you start to say, oh, and I'm going to say the word, I'll say, OMG, what did I find myself in?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you start blaming children for preventing you from progressing.
Mm-hmm.
If it were not for you all, I would have been at university, I would have been graduated if I had to not go and stay and see about you all.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear parents telling their children this. And how do you expect those children to feel?
Correct.
Because they prevented mommy or they prevented because daddy always out there at school now. I am in standard 5 or standard 3 and mommy and they out at school, evening classes and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a recipe for disaster.
Correct.
In the family.
Yes.
So that we really do have to restructure the education system.
Mm-hmm.
We must. Because we have a Frederick Douglass who said it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men.
Yeah.
True.
Very true.
I saw a comment from one of our viewers just now that we have too many fatherless homes. And I wanted your perspective as well. What do you think about that? And if it does impact the violence that we see against women, in your opinion and in your experience?
Sorry, I just breathed hard. Because listen to me. We have a society in which, and even with the young men who have maybe 3 women with children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them nearly the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the children. Which home we want him to go in? I asked, which home do we want him to go in?
Mm-hmm.
He may decide that this 3rd woman is my soulmate and my whatever, and he might decide to marry her. And those children are looked after because there is a father there.
Yeah.
And the mother who are looking after them. And now he has another woman or 2 with children who he is neglecting.
Correct.
Those mothers have to be in court trying to get maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
These children get in the brands, maybe have the cars to drop to school. The others have to be struggling to cook to get to school. Sometimes even find food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? My thing is that we need that whole issue of community to help people. It has nothing to do. I have known women who brought up their sons and daughters and they are doing so very well without the father.
Right.
just that we need to have a focus, we need to have a purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
saw
the issue of fatherless home it doesn't make sense.
it's
Now,
a fallacy.
I also know the woman, maybe he married the third woman, who he felt is his love of his life, but he had sexual intercourse with the others and children resulted. And the woman, this last wife, ensures that his children with the other woman are looked after. She brings them into the home, treats them as if they were hers. She does not feel that if he has to go and give the mother money to look after those children, that he is still with the mother. There are some women who feel that if the man has to hide to go into the school and hide to go and see his children and give them a little change, because the wife feels, if she knew, but feels that he is still with the mother of the children.
That's true. That's true.
And that is what happens. These children need care. There are some women who bring the children into the home and it is no big, they are happy and his children and they have to be my children too. They get along with the mothers of the children. But if they're very mature with it, it's not too much to us. Am I living in a pipe dream?
Yeah. I want to just talk.
The children need care.
Yeah.
Those children who are neglected will grow up very angry. They would not want, the boys might have a kind of crazy view of women, because it's this woman that's preventing me from getting what I need, my needs met. And there's this anger.
Yeah.
And then he meets a woman where his physical self is attracted to her, and they get involved, and that is the end of that. Because he's angry young man.
Yes. I saw a graphic today, Anna, where it showed both the father and the son had their fists with to the back of them, and their fists raised.
Okay.
And the comment was that children learn from the parents. So when the father is being violent towards the mother, the children will learn that as well. Now, this may not necessarily happen in all cases, right? Because I grew up in an abusive home, and none of us, the boys at least, are not violent at all. In fact, it's the reverse. They are more caring and loving, as fathers and husbands. But, the whole idea that children boys who become men, become violent because that's all they knew in the household. They don't know anything else.
Yeah, they do. That does happen to a woman. Her husband was very abusive physically, and then she had two boys who were growing up, and they were becoming like 10, 11, and they started cursing her just like the father used to, about the wares and the things, the food, the sandwich they make good, the tin tasted good, and the lunch kit, she put something they didn't want in the lunch kit, and all these crazinesses this woman has to be going through. Because the father, they saw the father do that. Right? She got pregnant and had a baby girl. And at the hospital, they brought the baby girl for her. And she held this child and started to tremble and to bawl. Right?
Yes.
She ended up by me. And she said to me, when she looked at her girl child, she just said to herself, her girl child is not going to go through this. She had to make a decision to save her girl child.
Yes. That's so
Her
sad.
child is not going to be going through this.
Mm-hmm.
And to be seeing this is how men treat women,
Mm-hmm.
she has to learn something different. And the only way for her to teach that child that, she has to leave the house, she has to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's unfortunate
Because
though.
there's no way he wanted to come to counseling.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying there are some men who just are starting to come to counseling, which is, I mean, very, very, a thing that I am quite excited about. That men are starting to take this counseling seriously because we are creatures of habit.
Yes.
And if we do not go through the process of counseling, and because one of the first things we do is to create an awareness of the problem, because habit is something that happens from the unconscious. We just do things without thinking, it's a habit.
Yes.
And if this is something that is deep down, but we do it, we have to bring it up to the consciousness, which is awareness, for us to say, oh my goodness, this is what is happening, and this is why I'm not happy. This is why this is happening to me. You know, counseling is a process.
Yes.
That takes us to behavior change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 4-part process. And it's not a magic one.
Yeah.
People have to sit with themselves, with someone, a professional, who is able to take them through the process.
Right.
And then behavior changes, but then they could slip back into the habit.
Yeah.
So you have to keep at it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time. Counseling is not just a one, let me talk to you and done thing. People be saying, behave yourself. You hear them on all their platforms saying, please behave, have some this. That doesn't work.
Yes.
They have to sit with themselves with someone who is able to help them
Right.
to go through the generations of mess that have brought them to this stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really happy to hear that men now are going for counseling because, you know, it's not done. The problem is not them. It's always about the woman.
Yeah. But then some of them, they don't try to nip it in the bud. They make you say, I mean, people come to counseling when things really go on through.
That's true. Very
If
true.
you realize from the very beginning that something is not good right here,
Mm-hmm.
but then you say, no, boy, you will change or she will change. You know, maybe if I put more sugar in the tea, he might be better. He must be not making the tea right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the time you see a little problem, just go and get help now.
Yes.
Don't let the thing come where he ready to kill you.
True. One other topic I want to touch on before we end this tonight is elder abuse, because you do have women who are aged and they are being abused, whether it's by their husband or their children or their caregiver.
Yeah, their caregivers.
Yes.
I think we are society, because I look at some of my friends and people, I'm kind of a people watcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I see those people who are aging and seem not to be able to handle aging.
Mm-hmm.
And if some of these people find themselves in the position of having to care for somebody who is aging,
Right.
it is going to be very difficult for them because they cannot deal with aging and have to take care of someone who's aging. They will be very angry.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why we have some problems with elder abuse, because a lot of times it's the children who have to deal with it, and
Yes.
the aging children.
Yes.
it's aging children who have to deal with seeing about their parents.
Correct.
And especially to the parents who are not, who are not happy people and made their children's lives miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And they find themselves now having to take care of this aging mother or father who really didn't treat them too well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, that is some of the issues. And even the caregivers who are not related may have had some issues in growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are looking at yourself through this aging person, how you will be in the next how many years,
correct,
you really can't handle that.
Well, my philosophy in life is you treat people how you would like to be treated yourself.
Of course.
And I know quite clearly what it's like to be a caregiver because both my parents are aged. And when you have one parent who is blind and has and is still recovering from a stroke, and then the other parent is bedridden, it can take its toll on you.
Yeah, it can. I mean, I have had that with that, and it really can take its toll, but you have to do a lot of self-care.
Yes.
As a caregiver.
Correct.
And understand that is something that you need to do. And look at your faith. What do you believe about what is your humanity, your divinity? Where is that for you?
Mm-hmm.
And do these aging parents sit in with you because it's still you all are still a family, you're still a community.
That's right. So well, Anna.
It is really a mammoth task to deal with all of this because we are not. I don't think we are serious about changing people's attitude. Because attitude change, as I said, is a process.
Mm-hmm.
That is very intense. It cannot happen in 1 month or 6 weeks a lot of times. And if the powers that be are not thinking of the fact that we must create a world in which there's counseling for all, available for all,
mm-hmm.
and not just a 6-week thing or 1 week or 2-day thing. Some people might be, but the majority of people who have had issues over the generations and never got help will need a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, a process that they're not willing to even face.
Yes.
And Dave Baldwin said, we cannot fix what we will not face.
Mm-hmm.
And these days I don't think we're facing much. So we can't fix anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Anna, we have to close.
I know. I told Janet, don't start me.
And I told Felicia that once she gets going, there's, it's plain sailing after that. But I want to thank you very, very much for being our guest tonight. We will have you back on. Yes, Felicia?
Yes,
definitely.
Not Holy Thursday, though.
No, definitely not. I will try and choose a date that is better suited for you.
So you can be here in person.
Yeah, and
thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you so much again, and I will call you afterwards.
Sure.
Okay, dear. Take care. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I remember the name of the society. It was the Rape Crisis Society. They had held a candlelight vigil. And, while I appreciate and I love the work that people like Anna and the Rape Crisis Society do, it still speaks to the back end or the resulting end of things. And we do these programs and we always try to put a pep spin on it in terms of our policy. And again, the work of people like Anna, tremendous, I love it. But we also need to look at the root cause of things, and we always speak about that. And throughout this program, I thought about some things. Imagine if we had better community policing, where you don't have to be afraid of going to your car anymore because you know that you have the neighborhood policeman number on speed dial. You know, you can reach out to him, or just fixing the country in a whole where you can feel generally safer. I have not had a personal experience with violence against me, but hearing of experiences. Just this week, two days ago, a woman was raped in Hoover, 27-year-old woman. I'm 29 years old. She was walking.
She was walking home.
She was walking home,
yes.
7 p.m. in the night, and she was abducted, pulled by a taxi driver and raped in the bushes, and then he chased her. And the only reason she got away was because there was poor lighting and he couldn't find her. Again, this situations like these, I've never experienced it, but the general climate is one that you don't feel safe. So if we can fix the country, if we can stop the violence, if we can clean up the streets, we have police actually finding, detecting crimes and putting these perpetrators behind bars, because we have a lot of repeat offenders.
Yes, correct.
We hear of all these cases and how many of them are locked up. Then you think about the homes. We see that a lot of the things that happen is a result of broken homes. We need to rebuild the family. We need to rebuild the community. A mother, yes, single parents. My mom is a single parent. Yes, they can do it. But we have situations, especially in cases of extreme poverty, where you can't provide for all of your children. You have your boys being wayward because you have 5, 6 children and you don't have a father to help you out. You don't have any money to provide for them. So again, you know, like I say, lovely work of all social workers, all groups that push for supporting women in cases of violence. But we also need to look at preventing these from the start. And PEP, of course, this is where we would always push our policies, because if we can fix from the start, you would find that we have less of these cases to deal with and clean up in the end.
I think also educating. Education is very important, especially in the schools, so that they know what to expect when they go out there. And I am a great believer in self-defense.
Yes.
From the school. Right? That way, whether it's a child, a woman or a man, could defend themselves reasonably well. That way it avoids any sort of situation that is very traumatic. You know, sometimes you see movies where the woman is excellent at kickboxing, but she gets raped. And she's saying, but I was taught how to defend myself. You know, but it's putting them into situations, you know, during their various classes and so on, that, you know, it becomes like a second nature. They don't even have to think about the actions in order to protect themselves. And then, of course, when we talk about violence in the homes, with the husband and the wife, that movie with Jennifer Lopez, Enough. You know, that is such a fabulous movie. I think more women need to watch that movie in particular and get out there and do some self-defense, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm sorry, the last man to put his hand on me was my father. I'm not taking lash from no man again. I am sorry. I recall when my husband was courting me, and I remember putting him in a chair and saying, okay, let me ask you a question. Are you a fella that likes to hit? So he watched me in surprise, and he goes, well, why do you ask that question? I said, because if any time in this relationship you raise your hand, my friend, one of us will be in the ground. So now is the time for you to take a walk and say sayonara, Janice.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm going to steal that when I do eventually get to that place. So future husband, know you'll be sat in a chair and I will be giving you.
Of course.
No,
he knows up front what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, and that you're going into the relationship with your eyes open. You understand?
Yep.
That's how I treated with my situation. So, as we close our segment, I would like to invite members to tell their friends and family about our regular meetings, employees screening for the job seekers and housing initiatives. Every Saturday from 12 noon at 19 Stanmore Avenue, Port of Spain. Come and add your voice to the frank and open discussion and express your opinions. Executives of the party will be there to answer any questions you may have. This Saturday, there will be no public meeting as it's a holiday, but the office will be open from 12 to 1 if anyone would like to come in and sign up or to purchase merchandise. Don't forget that you can become a volunteer and can serve on any of our committees, whether it's the National Executive, Constituency Executive, Constituency Representative, Youth Arm, Gender Arm, Security Team, or Events Committee. We believe that citizens should have a say in how they are governed, because right now we don't seem to be able to have a say. So we invite persons to volunteer to serve within our organization and help advance the vision and the mission of the Progressive Empowerment Party, which is one people under one flag. We would like everyone to know that no citizen will be left behind. So thank you to our guests, Anna Maria Mora. If any of you would like to get her contact number, you can give me a call on 290-8171. She's also listed on the website TTAP, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Psychologists. She's listed there, and all her information is on that website. So thank you once again, and Felicia, any closing comments, as it's your first time as my co-host?
Yes. I just want to remind everyone that next Saturday, April the 7th, we will be in Cuba for a second cottage meeting for the year.
Okay.
That is actually why we will be closed. Well, another reason why we will be closed this Saturday, because we will be doing a walkabout in the Cuba community. Anybody wishing to join us, please call our hotline 347-4737. Wear your PEP jersey. Join us. We will be going door to door, giving out flyers. The more peppers, the better. So join us next Saturday at the 7th of April for our Cuba meeting. And this Saturday, if you want to join us, just call that number letting us know that you're interested, and we will arrange to meet up with you. But thank you for having me for the first night, and I look forward to being here
next week
as your co-host going forward.
We want to acknowledge all our members and thank all of our viewers. To those of you who are on the road, please be safe. Good night.